Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Good evening, everyone. This is this time of the year. This is the most exciting time of the year, ladies and gentlemen. AOR Season 19. Of course, Apex Online Racing Hype Energy. Forget about it. Season 19, round number 1, Bahrain Grand Prix. Desert in the night. That's obviously one of the most beautiful tracks now, and we're ready to say good evening, guten Abend, dobry wieczór, dobry večer, or whatever your language is, to the new Apex Online Racing season. Only 12 rounds this season, but there will be a lot of time to talk about it later on. My name is Julio Massa. I'm probably the only one today, but, well, who cares? And I will be with you to commentate probably this whole season. 18 minutes of qualifying and then 29 laps of the race, around 154 kilometers of the race. You can see the tire performance. We have we have the hardest compound, so the soft is the C3, medium is the C2 compound, and hard is the C1 tire. So that will be it in terms of the whole graphics situation, and we will actually rejoin the drivers on the track because, well, there are some really interesting things happening, I can assure you. We have the whole lobby today, which is awesome, obviously. And, well, as I've said, I am alone today. We don't have one driver today. That was Black Panther, but we have a reserve driving for us. That will be Flexus Marcy. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on any social media, follow our sponsors, but there will be time to talk about it later on. So let's see what's going on. What's happening on the track. I hope it all works. If it doesn't work, then I have a problem. Yeah, it works beautifully. So we've seen that FOX has had a spin and he has lost some bit of his front wing, but that's, well, it's of course a problem for him right now, but he hasn't crashed out, so he still has 13 minutes to set a lap time. 19 drivers, and I don't really know what to whom to follow really right now, but I think we will work that out. 17 drivers have set the lap times, and the fastest one is Tarabukin 51, known as Tarabukin Andrei, the Russian driver in Toro Rosso, and we can see that all the lap times have been set on hard tires, apart from second place, the IRC Vegas in the Racing Point, but he is still 0.3 of a second behind the leader. Third place right now belongs to AOR Oxygen, this gentleman here, in the Alfa Romeo, or previously known as Zauber. I can see that we have 20 people in this live stream, which is nice. Of course, everyone is interested to see how this season will start. At least we can see that most of the drivers are coming into the pit lane, but not all of them. I've seen that Molkian has started this probably second, well, not qualifying, but flying lap. We can see that AM is, well, 6 seconds of the pace, or even 8, but he has improved to, well, 1:35.54. Well, 1:35.400.5. Sorry for this. There's a lot of things coming onto my mind. That's why I may be a little bit. Well, I may be a little bit lost today, but I hope that next weekend, I hope that during the race I won't be lost. We can see that there is a yellow flag in sector, well, there was a yellow flag in sector 2. That was turn number, let me think, that was turn number 13, of course. Yeah, turn number 13. This is, well, probably the toughest turn on this track, because the curb on the inside is very lethal. When you just put one of your wheels on this curb, you are basically spinning out like crazy. But well, hopefully no one has this problem today. We can see that Jackal Jack has improved to second place, 1:29. 216 is his time, just a little bit quicker than Piekash in the Red Bull, and just, well, 20, well, that's 23 thousandths behind, thousandths of a second behind Partek. Two Polish drivers in a Red Bull. Interestingly, Poland is the most represented country in this tier, because we have AM in P13 right now in the McLaren, and we have, well, we have a Polish-Dutch driver in this Haas, Mr. Hueni. He lives in the Netherlands, but he says that he feels that he is Polish, so we are treating him as a Polish driver, similarly to Alexander Albon being the Thai driver despite growing up in Great Britain. And yeah, and of course the fifth Polish, well, not driver but man in this tier is me. Well, that, well, who cares about it? We have three Germans, if I believe. That's Malkian, that's Vegas, and that's Flash. So those are two most represented countries, but we still have Czechs. One Czech actually. I think two Hungarians, especially today. We have one Austrian, one Romanian, and so on and so on. Of course, we have as well two Russians in the same team, in Toro Rosso. Panteleev, I think that would be the more or less correct pronunciation of this nickname of the gentleman we are following right now. And the second is Tarabukin 51, known as Tarabukin Andrei. So that would be it. Well, now let's see who is setting some good times, and that's Rainbow, the Lithuanian driver, up into P2 right now. 1:28.6, or almost 1:28.7. That's P2 at the moment. On hard tires again. Looks like everyone is trying at least to set the qualifying lap times on as hardest compound as possible. Probably that's due to strategy. Looks like it isn't worth to try even to start on softs, but we have Flash trying to set a lap on soft tires. We will have Vegas probably trying to set a lap time on softs as well. We will see if Jackal Jack tries to set a lap time on mediums. Probably most of the drivers will try to set a lap time on medium tires, but probably that will be a little bit later on in this session. I'm still trying to see if Malkin is on a fast lap. No, he isn't. And similar to Flex's Marcy, who is starting a lap. Similar to probably Tudor, who is actually finishing his lap, but he goes horribly wide in turn 14. So that will be, yeah, some improvement. 1:29.92. He gets on the board, but that's all he affords now. Let's see what does Rainbow again. He comes into the pit lane. Yeah, he's in P2. Tarabukin has left the session. Let's see what is Leto doing. He's on a slow lap. And Hueni is in P7. He is trying to improve. 1 minute 29.1 is his best effort so far, but he is coming into the pit lane. No, he has been just following Leto to gain a little bit of time, and he has improved into P4. 1 minute 28.8. That's a good time. We will see what Pantaleev is doing. I think he's coming to the pit lane. Yes, he is. So let's see what is Flash doing, because that might be a quick lap. He's not on an out lap. He's on a flying lap, at least according to my knowledge, but he's coming to the pit lane. Well, this is probably going to be an even more interesting time of this session, because most of the drivers are now fitting new compounds of tires. Well, new whatever happened here, I don't know, but they are all trying at least to set the new lap times. They will, because we have only 5.5 minutes to go in this session. Tudor, will he try to improve yet again, or is he starting another lap? Yes, he is starting another lap, and just behind him is Jackal Jack, the only American driver in this field in a Ferrari. He's using the slipstream of his teammate to maybe gain a little bit more time, because we have 3 DRS straights. I didn't say it before, but we have 3 DRS straights between turns 15 and turn 1, between turn 3 and turn 4, and obviously between turns of course 10 and 11. So yeah, so there's a lot of straights here. There was a graphic showing that around 72% of the lap is actually driven on full throttle. Broby has started another lap on, well, what happened there? I don't know. That was one of the Williamses cutting straight across the track. But Broby has started his lap on soft tires as well. We have a lot of yellow flags and sea of cars actually flying on the track, which is a little bit, which makes my job a little bit harder, because I don't know where can I find some quick cars, but well, maybe they are somewhere. Looks like Fox is on a quick lap. Yes, he is. 1 minute 22 right now. I think he won't improve though, so let's go back to Jackal Jack, because that is interesting. He's on mediums. He used the slipstream of his teammate, and where does it put him? In P3. 1 minute 28.6. Just behind him is MDCO in Williams. But he has started his lap time. Tudor comes into the pit lane. Who is the next in this queue? Is it Rainbow? No, it's actually AM, but I'm looking for someone who might be on a qualifying lap, and that's Oxygen, who improves to pole position, ladies and gentlemen. 1 minute 27.9, that is his time right now. Flash 224 has started another lap. Where is Fire? He's starting another lap, so let's see what will... Rainbow is actually starting another lap as well. One of the Red Bull drivers is now trying to finish, and we have a crash. That is AM crashing into the barrier. Meanwhile, Bartek, well, he is starting another lap, I imagine. Where is Fox? Fox is on a quick lap again. Leto has started another lap. Looks like Piekash also improved. Yes, he is into P3. Now, where is Fox? That is a, well, interesting lap time, to say the least. Where is another driver? Sky Kartoffel has started another lap, and Fox, can he improve actually, or will he have to pit again? No, he doesn't pit again, and Fox goes into P5. Where is MDCO now in this whole situation? Yes, he's in P2. Another Mercedes now. That's Malkian starting his lap. Yes, that's Malkian starting his lap. Maybe another Haas driver starting his lap. Yes, it is, and that will be the same thing with Hueni. Oxygen is in pole position, and he is just coming into the pit lane, so the next car behind him will be Flash 224, who I believe is on an out lap. And where Okay, yeah, so he is on an outlap, but Fire isn't, and he has improved by 8 tenths. 8 tenths would give him, yes, P3. Next one, Rainbow goes into P2 even, so pushes Fire into P4, and Bartek goes into P4, pushing Fire into P5. Tarab, no, that's Panteleev, I think, into P8. Yes, and it is, and that is Leto, who I think started another lap. Yes, indeed. Where is Piekasz? He was, well, third, I think, just a little bit time ago, and he is now down in 6th place. Sky Kartoffel on a slow lap. Not good for him. Where is Fox? Can he improve even further? I think he is starting another lap. He's getting ready for another lap, so I don't care about him right now. Jackal Jack getting ready for another lap as well. Oxygen has retired. Tudor, meanwhile, probably is going to use the slipstream of his teammate. Where is Hueni and all of that? He is on the straight, but Flexus Marcy goes into P13. One of the Mercedes as well, that's Malkian, but without any improvement. MDCO in P3, but that's, I believe that's all. And where is Hueni? Hueni goes into P6. And where is Broby? Broby started another lap. Where is Flash then? 8 tenths of an improvement. Where will it put him? In P2! Wow, just behind Oxygen. And where is Fire? Because Vegas has retired. Fire has started another lap. Okay, so now Fire has him actually retired from the session. Partek, and behind him is Rainbow in P3, using his slipstream a little bit cheekily, but he can do it. Leto in P13. Okay, let's see Piekasz on a slow lap. Just behind him we have Panteleev, and we don't have much more time in this session late, and because we have a checkered flag flying out on the track. So let's see, Sky Kartoffel, his last effort, where will it put him? He goes into P12, only P12. So now let's see what will Fox do. He's on a slow lap, so that isn't good for him. Meanwhile, Tudor finishing his flying lap. He used the slipstream of his teammate to his advantage, but how much will he improve? He goes into P6. Very good improvement. Now time for Malkian. Where will it put him? Into P8 goes Malkian. Where is MDCO in P4? So let's see, Hueni in P9, but it's a slow lap. Slow lap for Jackal Jack as well. So I'm only looking for Partek, who improves by 5 tenths of a second. 5 tenths. He will probably go on pole, but let's see, because there is Rainbow behind him as well. Only 2 drivers on qualifying laps, on flying laps, and who gets the pole in Bahrain? Is it Oxygen? I think he's out of the equation. But can Partek take the pole? Yes, indeed. And the Rainbow only goes into P4. So we have a pole on pole, because Partek is the first pole sitter of this season. I'm just now catching up on the chat, but not now, because let's see. Bartek in pole position, as I've said, pole on pole. 1:27.693 is his time. Second place goes to Oxygen, then Flash, Rainbow, MDCO in 5th place, and Tudor, Fire in P7, Malkian in P8, Hueni in P9, and Piekasz in P10. And then we have Tarabukin, Panteleev, Fox, Sky Kartoffel, Jackal Jack, Leto, Vegas, Flexus Marcy, AM, and Broby. Top 10 will start on mediums, but there is a question on which tires will the rest of the field start. Probably not on wets, because it's not going to rain in Bahrain, is it? But yeah, there is some time for us now to catch up with the chat, but I see that no one's really here. I'm seeing a lot of French support. I'm sorry, I don't speak French, unfortunately, but I think you are supporting Leto, the Renault driver. I'll try to show him to you as much as I can, but it's, you know, it's the, if he is in a fight between him and someone else, then of course I will show him to you, but well, there are a lot of interesting things going to happen. I am sure about it. So as the field sets off for the formation lap, 20 drivers, as I've said earlier, we are trying, well, we'll see what are the tire choices now, and there are some interesting tire choices. Bartek, Oxygen, Flash, Rainbow, MDCO, Tudor, Fire, Malkin, Hueni, Piekarz and Tarabukin, so the top 11 starts on mediums, then Panteleev starts on hard tires, then again Fox on mediums, Sky Kartoffel, interesting choice, starting on soft tires, then Jackal Jack on mediums again, and then we have a group starting on hard, so that's Leto, that's Vegas, that's Flexis Marcy, AM, and Groby rounding out up the field on soft tires. So basically, when you start on soft tires, you are put on a two-stop strategy, but I believe these guys will try to make sure they are stopping only once today, because the most optimal strategy is the medium tires and then hard tires, but well, everything may be changed. Of course, the safety car is enabled here, so maybe we will have a safety car or virtual safety car period, and the strategy will change. Those shots showing the crowd out there are a little bit, I'd say, outdated, because we all know that this race, Bahrain Grand Prix, will be held without people on the stands, without any spectators, due to the small outbreak. But thankfully this outbreak doesn't change our plans. We are racing today, and the season 19 of Hype Energy Apex Online Racing is going to start, well, in a minute really. Not even in a minute, in a second really. And well, there's silence before the big storm. Still waiting for the drivers to round up the field. Still waiting for the lights, but they are coming here. So now 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And away we go for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Looks like a good start from Bartek. Then Oxygen, a good start from Sky Kartoffel. He tries to overtake a few drivers as well. Oxygen going out from P3, and Bartek gets a little bit of lag here. He goes down into P3. We have a yellow flag, but I don't see any spins out there. And Flash takes the lead, and looks like Rainbow will try to overtake Bartek into P4. Will he make it stick? No, I don't think so. Fox already gets a 5-second time penalty for cutting the corner. Now Tarabukin losing one place to Malkian. But apart from that, looks like a fairly clean start. Where is Jack? Cool Jack just behind Piekarz and Tarabukin, but they don't crash. That's the best news, of course, out there. AM trying to fight with Vegas, and a contact between him and Panteleev. Panteleev hits the back of Vegas. Oh, there will be some action from the stewards taken after this race, but not now, of course. Tarabukin overtakes Malkin. Let's go back to the front, because Bartek is just behind Oxygen. Flash has a little bit of a gap already, 8/10 of it to be specific, but just behind him there is a huge train actually, and there are cars going round and cars going out. That's Leto and Vegas in turn 11. Yellow flag in sector 3, but nothing major happening still. Let's go back to the leaders, because Oxygen, then Bartek, then Rainbow, MDCO. This is a whole train trying to fight it out, and where will Bartek be? And of course, great camera work by me and Codemasters as well, and that means that I am, well, not Codemasters. I'm sorry, Codemasters, by me. But yeah, coming back to the game, looks like Bartek has overtaken. Yes, he has made it stick. He has overtaken Oxygen, but looks like Oxygen will try to fight back into turn 5. No, he doesn't find any space there. So he loses one spot to the Red Bull driver, to the pole sitter of this race. But well, he has lost some time on this start. Looked like a lag spike coming into turn 1. That's why Bartek lost 2 positions there and almost lost another position to Rainbow, who is trying to slipstream and overtake Oxygen, but he's still way too far behind. Let's see if there are any fights now, and looks like Jackal Jack tried to overtake Piekasz, but he didn't make it stick. Meanwhile, Broby ahead of AM. Broby started in P20, and he's now already up into P14. Of course, those soft tires are working brilliantly for him right now. Meanwhile, Oxygen has already lost a few tenths to Bartek, and he has, well, actually been closed down by Rainbow. Lap 3 starting now. Flash with the fastest lap of the race, but it's beaten by Tudor's effort, and will Rainbow try to overtake Oxygen into turn 1, but there was a small contact, I believe, and DCO finds a gap here and overtakes the Lithuanian driver from McLaren, who loses another place too. Tudor exiting turn number 3, and Tudor tries to overtake MDCO into turn 4, and he does it, but he goes wide there, and his P4 is taken back from, oh, not taken back, but by, actually, MDCO. There is a big fight here. MDCO in P5, Rainbow in P6, Fire in P7. He goes a little bit wide there, maybe when he tried to find a gap there, but he couldn't. Meanwhile, Bartek is starting to close down the leader. He has the DRS, interestingly enough. So that is a great news for him, but coming back to the fight here, can Hweni try to overtake Fire? No, he's way too far behind. Meanwhile, Tarabukin was also close, but that was too far behind. Jackal Jack has overtaken Piekasz, and now Sky Kartoffel will try to do it on those soft tires. Broby behind him as well on softs, but let's go back to the leaders, because, well, Bartek will have the DRS, same as Oxygen, but MDCO won't have the DRS, and that means that Tudor will have it and will try to overtake the Williams driver. Bartek sets the fastest lap of the race. Meanwhile, Tudor tries to overtake the Williams driver into turn 1. Will he make it stick this time? And yes, he makes it stick. And as well, it looked like Rainbow tried to overtake him. There was a gap for him, but he couldn't capitalize on that. But now into turn 4, he makes it stick. Yes, brilliant move from the McLaren driver, but he goes wide. There was a small contact between the two drivers, but looks like it's okay now. Well, Rainbow is into P5 actually. Pantaleev with the fastest lap. He was in the pit lane. I missed that when he came into the pit lane, but that was of course caused by this collision between him and AM and Vegas. Meanwhile, Hweni has overtaken Fire, who goes around, was hit by Tarabukin and lost a bit of his front wing, but he has gone, well, he has rejoined the track, but has lost a lot of positions. He's down into P13 even now. Meanwhile, Broby just behind Piekasz. Piekasz is in this sort of sandwich, of this sort of Mercedes sandwich. Meanwhile, Sky Kartoffel fighting it out with AM for P14, but looks like a brilliant move from AM round the outside there, but the inside, Sky Kartoffel had the inside here, and he tried to retake that position, but there was a contact between them. Meanwhile, Piekasz is really, well, he is trying to defend from the guys there, but now let's go back to Bartek, because he is fighting with Flash. He is trying to overtake him into turn 1. Will he make this move stick, or will Flash fight back? Yes, he fights back through turn 2, through turn 3. Who has the DRS here? That's Bartek. So looks like we have a lead change. Yes, we have a lead change indeed. Meanwhile, AM has already overtaken Fire, although he has a small issue with his front wing. Where is Malkin? He's already in the pit lane. Wow, what happened there? I don't know. But yeah, coming back to, of course, looks like to the track, and looks like Broby has some sort of issue with his front wing. Looks like also AM. There must have been a collision, because there are a lot of cars that are missing front wing end plates. But of course I had to miss it, because there is so much happening, so much stuff happening out of the track now, that well, I don't know where to focus on really, because everything is constantly changing. Looks like Rainbow is closer to Tudor, but he has hit him, and Tudor goes round, loses 1, 2, 3 positions, I think. Well, MDCO5 also loses a few positions. He goes down into P9. Meanwhile, Jack trying to overtake Tarabukin for P6. This fight is, and looks like Tarabukin has been overtaken by the Ferrari, but there was a contact between them again, and Tarabukin with the slipstream, with the help of slipstream from Hueni, with, well, trying to fight with Jack, but I don't think he will make that move stick. No, he doesn't make it stick. Looks like we have some sort of, well, a few drivers in the pit lane. Fire, Flexus, Massey, and Broby already into the pit lane. But let's go back here, because Tudor tried to overtake Tarabukin, and he has done, but they have made a contact. Not crashed, really. I wanted to say they have crashed, but there aren't any, thankfully, any damage. There isn't any damage to both of these cars, but they have lost a lot of time. There is maybe a psychological damage to them, but apart from that, there is none. Meanwhile, Hueni has closed down on to Rainbow in P4. It's still only lap 6 of this race. Looks like Oxygen, Flash, and Partick are locked in a fight, really. I thought that the Red Bull driver may have the pace to get away from them, but he doesn't have that pace. Meanwhile, Hueni in P9, and P5, of course, not P9, 5-9, very similar words, but of course, he is in P5 just behind Rainbow in P4. You will have the DRS, obviously, but so will have Jack just behind him as well. But it looks to be a little bit too far behind Hueni. Will he try to overtake Rainbow? Rainbow goes defensive into turn 1. Hueni, and they both really break late, and their fight is still not done, not finished, but it looks like Hueni is into P4, but Rainbow will try to fight back with the help of the DRS into turn 4, and that's a brilliant fight back from the McLaren, but looks like he goes just a little bit too wide, because Hueni tries to find a gap here, but he doesn't find that gap here into turn 5, into turn 6. No, he doesn't find that gap, and we have a spinner again! It's MDCO5, probably a problem on the curb, because he has lost, well, 2 places, thankfully, maybe 3, but he has lost a lot of time, and he probably has overheated his tires. Meanwhile, let's go back to the front of the field, because Oxygen is really close behind Flash now. Bartek, well, those 8 tenths ahead of Flash. That's enough for him to keep the lead, but he's also keeping Flash in P2, I think. If Bartek manages to break away, if he manages to get away from this group, Flash will lose the DRS, and probably Oxygen will have an easier task to overtake the Williams driver. Flash sets the fastest lap of the race, interestingly, so he still has a lot of pace. Good to see that. We all want to have a 3-way fight for the lead. Well, let's go back to another group fighting for P4. We have, interestingly, we have groups of, well, 3, because then we have Tarabukin and Tudor. There was a fight between Sky Kartoffel and AM. Sky Kartoffel on those soft tires that are probably old now, but he has overtaken the car without a bit of his front wing, but AM will try to fight back into turn 4. A little bit of a lockup. He hits the side of the Alfa Romeo, but he goes through. That was a little bit of a dirty move, if you ask me, but, well, on the line, really, on the limit. I see there are a lot of, well, there are now people spamming, actually, well, trying to say that, well, Piekasz is the great man here, but, well, he's now in P9, really. I'm sorry for not paying attention to the chat, but there is a lot of things going on here that I really can't focus on this on this chat. Let's go back to the track because Flash just behind Bartek yet again. Has he improved his lap time? Yes, he has, but there was a change in the fastest lap standing. Yes, because Broby has set the fastest lap of the race. But let's go back to, well, more close fight really, although let's stay with Flash and Bartek because they are interestingly close. I think they haven't been this close for the entire race really, after, or at least since Bartek has overtaken Flash, but nothing changes here. We have a group of 4 now fighting for P4. Funnily enough, Rainbow ahead of Hueni, ahead of Jackal-Jack. Meanwhile, Tudor overtakes Piekarz. That's a fight for P8. And Piekarz really tangled up in this traffic early in the race. That meant, well, he's lost a lot of time. Meanwhile, AM and Fox fighting for P12. And meanwhile, Hueni has found the gap to overtake Rainbow. That was a really, well, not unusual place to overtake, if you ask me. But he has done it, and he is up into P5 now. Just behind Hueni, but just ahead of Jackal-Jack. Meanwhile, Piekarz again ahead of Tudor, but Tudor fights back through turn 11, now into 12, and still the Ferrari is ahead of the Red Bull. Let's go back to the leaders though, because Flash, well, he has lost some time now. Only a little bit, but he has lost it. Let's go back then to Rainbow. Piekarz ahead of Tudor yet again. I think I can start to record this sort of sequence and just put it on repeat. But let's go back to Rainbow and Hueni because still a lot of fighting. Here he goes deep into turn 1 and Jackal-Jack sees the gaps. Tries to take it, but he can. Meanwhile, let's see what Piekarz and Tudor will do. Well, not now, because Rainbow and Jackal-Jack will be fighting for P5, but no changes there. Will there be one? No, no changes there. Meanwhile, Tudor just behind Piekarz stays and sets and settles there. Meanwhile, Fox in the pit lane, changing his front wing. Meanwhile, his teammate Leto down in 14th place. Well, his supporters won't be happy. I'm sorry. But he has a pretty much uninteresting race so far, of course. Meanwhile, Flash, Oxygen in P2, and, well, Hueni in P4, so that is this gap. Of course, still a lot of fighting, especially on the straights. Where is AM? Just behind Sky Kartoffel, that's good to know. We are going back to the top because, well, the fight at the top is just outstanding. Meanwhile, Bartek comes into the pit lane, the end of lap 10. So this is probably the beginning of the pit window. Hueni, Rainbow, Jackal-Jack, is he coming? No, he's not coming, as is not Tarabukin. But of course, Bartek, Hueni, Rainbow, Piekarz even came into the pit lane, double stack for Red Bull, but a very quick one. Who else came into the pit lane? Sky Kartoffel. But, well, he was on old soft tires. Let's go back to the top then. Can Flash on those old medium tires stretch his lead in order to stay, well, in order to overtake or overcut Bartek, who is just behind Leto? That was a long stop, I think, for the Red Bull drivers. Yes, it was. Well, he is just 23 seconds behind the leader now, and that's a lot, actually. That is really a lot. Although we can see that Hueni, he is around a second now ahead, well, 1.5 seconds even ahead of Rainbow. Tudor just behind them. Tudor, Panteleev, and Piekarz in this fight as well. Panteleev has been in the pit lane at the beginning of the race after a collision between him and AM. I think that was on the first lap, but that was a long time ago. Meanwhile, Flash and Oxygen are coming to the pit lane. Will Jackal-Jack follow suit? Will be the same done by Tarabukin? Jackal-Jack stays out, interestingly. And where will Flash emerge? That's a long stop, although that's okay. That's a change without touching the tires. And where is going Flash to emerge? He will be just behind Partek, I think. They will be racing into turn 1. He tries to defend from the Red Bull driver, and he is ahead of Partek. Skykartoffel getting a 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. So it's game on for the lead now. It's between Flash and Partek probably. But, interestingly, it's the Williams driver ahead of the Red Bull. And Leto has been involved in that fight as well. He has been overtaken by Partek on that straight, but that wasn't enough for the Red Bull driver to stay in the, well, not in the lead, but in the net lead. They are both behind Vegas though, so there is still something to come. Not only Vegas, but also behind AM. So there is a bit of a train now fighting for P3 at the moment, and for the net, even I'd say lead. Where is Jackal Jack? Is he coming into the pit lane or is he not? Well, this is a big question, but we will see that later on. AM still struggling with this front wing, with the lack of his front wing end plate. And, well, he is slowing down that grip a bit, I am sure about it. Meanwhile, Jackal Jack and the MDCO came into the pit lane. Flexus Marcy gets a 10-second time penalty and retires from the race. He has hit the wall in turn number 11. Virtual safety car is out. AM in the lead. Vegas in P2. Flash in P3 and Partek in P4. But Jackal Jack and MDCO 5 will emerge. Well, Jackal Jack emerges ahead of Tarabukin. Where is MDCO? Just behind Rainbow then. Maybe just behind Tudor as well. No, ahead of him. Good. So that is, well, not good, but this is how the virtual safety car will shake up the order. I was going to say that it's a great race so far, that no driver has retired, no driver has had problems, no, we didn't have any virtual safety car, we didn't have any safety car, but guess what? It came out at the exactly right moment. We're still waiting for the virtual safety car to come back in. We're waiting to resume racing. We will have Flash in the net lead, and the racing is now resumed. Funnily enough, Flash doesn't have the DRS. Oh, he didn't have the DRS on that straight. Maybe that will change. He will now try to overtake Vegas on those older hard tires. He has built a little bit of a gap ahead of Partek. Meanwhile, Vegas will try to chase down, will try to overtake AM. Also, Flash will hope to overtake Vegas into turn 14, but he doesn't make the move stick. He doesn't even make any move. Meanwhile, Hueni gets a time penalty, and we have still a big train fighting for that P1, maybe P2 right now. Will Flash try to overtake Vegas into turn 1? I'm sorry, he tries to brake very late, but he makes the move stick. No, because there was a gap on the inside taken by Vegas. They are still fighting for that P2, and Partek wants to join the party, wants to overtake at least the racing point, but goes really deep and hits Flash, and they lose all sorts of time. He gave the position back to the Williams driver, but they have been overtaken by Leto as well. Can you hear me now? I think I've done an awesome thing and have turned off my microphone halfway through the race, which is awesome, not gonna lie. But yeah, if you couldn't hear me, well, that's my bad, obviously. Well, I hope you could hear me. I will rewatch the stream later on. But, well, let's forget about it. Anyway, what can I say now? I can only say thank you very much for this race. Sorry for all the problems that I may have had with it, because there might have been some problems. Yeah, as I've said, I hope... Oh yeah, no micro after 10 laps. Great. Good to know. I don't know how I did that. To be fair, I don't know how I did that. So yeah, probably that was the worst race I've done in AOR. But I hope you've enjoyed this fight. And yeah. What can I say? Thank you to all the sponsors, to Elgato, to Hype Energy for making this league possible. This is the first thing I should have said. And I hope to see you next week. Obviously, we will have. Let me check what will be the next race, because I don't really remember. Yes, I know, my bad. But let me just check it, and that will be probably the final information I have said. Okay, wait a minute, and that will be Belgium. So yeah, great, of course. An awesome track, classic track, really. The one I am looking forward to, and probably a lot of drivers are looking forward to. And yeah. I'm going to finish it here. I hope that next week, as I've said, with the microphone turned off, I hope that next week I have a co-commentator. I hope not to turn off the microphone midway through the race. I don't know how I did that. I will have to check it, but yeah, that was weird. And well, probably all of you have gone. So, as I've said, thank you very much for watching it, even though there was no commentary for probably most of the race. Thank you for this season, for this race, and I hope to see you next week. Next week, of course, as I've said, is the Belgian Grand Prix, and I hope that the race is at least as entertaining as tonight. Thank you so much, as I've said, as I'm going to say this once again, thank you so much to Elgato Gaming, to Hype Energy for making this stream making the stream possible, for supporting us. And that will be it from me. My name was Julio Massa, and I hope to see